Welcome back, friends. Today we are going to study about the bearings, rolling bearings. Right? We had studied or we had discussed the sliding contact bearing in our last lecture. Today we are going to study about the rolling contact bearing. Rolling contact bearing is called as the anti-friction bearing, and sliding contact bearing is called as a journal bearing, or you can say it's a sleeve bearing. Why? Because in the sliding contact bearing, the sleeve or journal is used to contact in the bearing or to support the moving element, where the in the rolling contact bearing there is ball is used as a contact element or support element to move support the moving elements. The rolling contact bearing, the main parts is the balls, and the terminology is the inner bore of this sleeve, outer bore of the sleeve, outer ring ball diameter, right? Inner face of ring, outer face of ring, and separators, which is separate or which is contain the balls. The arrival of the automobile high speed engine and automatic production machinery provide the impulse for extensive research and development of the rolling bearing, also called as the anti-friction bearing, right? In the in the rolling bearing, in the rolling contact bearing, the contact between the bearing surface is rolling instead of sliding, as in sliding contact bearing. Due to the contact of the ball and bearing is a rolling, or you can say it's a point contact, right? So the friction which is produced is low. uh, why? Because in the sliding contact bearing, the contact area between the journal and bearing is a surface area, right? Contact area is a surface area. So the friction which is produced in this sliding bearing is more than this friction which is produced in the rolling contact bearing. It is an outstanding advantages of rolling contact bearing over a sliding bearing. That is, it has a low starting friction due to the low friction offered by rolling contact bearing. These are called as anti-friction bearing. The main advantages is the starting friction is comparatively more or less than the sliding contact bearing. Also, it is easy to lubricate the lubrication either with grease or with relative simple system. Also, less axial space for a comparable shaft diameter and capable for supporting both radial and thrust loads. Easy to mount and erect, and also it is easy to clean the balls and journal. What is the disadvantages? So disadvantages of the rolling bearing is greater diametral space required for a comparable shaft diameter. Initial cost is usually higher, and when the normal operation is done or it's a low speed operation is done, then the noise is more than the sliding contact bearing. Due to the fatigue Due to the fatigue load, the life is limited for the rolling contact bearing and lesser capacity to withstand a shock. The classification of rolling contact bearing is ball bearing or roller bearing. Both type of bearing, there are radial and thrust load is produced. In radial load is produced due to the perpendicular load which is produced to the journal, and axial load due to the radial movement of the bearing. Radial ball bearing, when the radial load is served, the single there are many kind of different kind of ball bearings or different kind of parameters which have decreased the roller ball decrease the radial load or axial load. This is the types of roller bearing, in which the angular contact bearing, which all only a rolling or rotary motion, or in angular contact bearing the aligned shaft be needed to the axial of, or you can say the axis of the roller bearing and axis of the shaft which is mounted on the bearing should be similar or should be coincide. But if we are using a self aligned rolling bearing like this, they slightly misalign this shaft axis and roller bearing axis should be permissible. The balls are inserted into the grooves by moving the inner ring to the eccentric position in deep groove ball bearing. Radial load capacity of filling notch bearing can be increased by inserting balls, but the thrust load capacity decreased due to the bumping of the balls against the edge of notch. Sealed bearing lubricated at factory and shielded bearing protect against the dirt. The thrust ball bearing, right? In the thrust ball bearing are used for carrying thrust load exclusively and at speed below 2000 rpm. At high speed, centrifugal force cause the balls to be forced out of the races. Therefore, the high speed it is recommended the angular contact ball bearings should be used in place of thrust ball bearing. Roller bearing. In the roller bearing, there are different type of roller like cylindrical roller, spherical roller, needle roller, and taper roller are used for roller bearing. And in the taper roller, the angle of taper is generally used as 25 degree, whereas different kind of operation we can use the different kind of roller in the roller bearing. Needle bearing are very useful where radial space is limited. They may be used without separators and races. Selection of the bearing type. For low and medium radial loads, ball bearing are used, whereas for heavy load and large shaft diameter, roller bearing are selected. Why? Because the low and medium radial loads, the ball bearing is generally used, but at whereas the heavy load and large shaft diameter are used, the low radial load ball bearing are cannot be used because of at the high speed or at the heavy load the balls are should be throughout from the races. So roller bearing are used for heavy loads and larger shaft diameter. Self-aligning ball bearing and spherical roller bearing are used in applications where the misalignments between the axis of shaft and housing likely to exist. Means if we are fixed or if we are fixed the shaft on the support of the ball or support of the bearing, then the axis of the shaft and the axis of the housing which is used to fix the mount ball bearing having misalignment, then the ball bearings general ball bearings are cannot be used because of the, it it has created the maximum axial thrust load, and due to the maximum thrust load the ball should the friction of the bearing is excessively high. Also due to the high thrust load the ball threw out from the races. So the self-aligning ball bearing are used for the misalignment between the axis of shaft and housing. Thrust ball bearing are used for medium thrust load, whereas for heavy thrust load, cylindrical roller thrust bearing are recommended. This is the simple thing, or this is another kind of written as first point. Okay, this is third point is also similar for the first point. Like if the thrust load is higher, then cylindrical roller or uh, self-aligned roller thrust bearing are recommended. Deep groove ball bearing, angular contact bearing, and spherical roller bearing are suitable in application where the load acting on the bearing consisting of two component radial and thrust rigidly controls the selection of the bearing in certain application like machine tool spindles. Double row cylindrical roller bearing or taper roller bearing are used under these conditions. The line of contact of this bearing as compared with the point of contact in ball bearing improves the rigidity of the system. Designation of ball bearing. There are four type of ball bearing are used. The extra light ball bearing is used as a 100 number. For lightweight light ball bearing is used as a 200 number. For the medium load is 300 and heavy load is a 400. The bearing are designated by a number. In general, the number consists of the last three digits. Additional digit or letters are used to indicate special features, deep groove, filling notch, etc. The last three digits give the series and the bore of the bearing, right? The last two digits from the 4 onwards, when multiplied by 5, give the bore diameter in millimeter. The most common ball bearings are available as extra medium, light, medium, and heavy. Static load rotating or static load carrying capacity CO. The load carrying by the non-rotating ball bearing is called as a static load, and the permanent deformation which appears in balls and the under raceway under static load. Static load of moderate magnitude increase gradually with increasing load. Therefore, the permissible static load is dependent upon the permissible magnitude of permanent deformation. Experience shows that a total permanent deformation is 0.0001 times the ball diameter occurring the most heavily loaded ball, and race contact cannot be tolerated in most bearing application without impairment of bearing operation. The basic static load rotating rating is defined as the static radial load or axial load, which corresponds to a total permanent deformation of ball and race at most heavily stressed contact equal to 0.0001 times the ball diameter. It is given by Strybeck's equation, and the Strybeck's equation is denoted as CO is equal to FOI ZD square cos alpha, where I is the number of rows of balls in any one bearing, where Z is equal to number of balls per row. Capital D is the diameter of balls, and alpha is the nominal angle of contact, where the nominal angle between the line of action of ball and a plane perpendicular to the axis of bearing, where FO is the factor depending upon the types of bearing, and the value of factor FO for the bearing made of hardened steels are taken as follow. FO is equal to 3.33 for self-aligning ball bearings and 12.3 for radial contact and angular contact groove ball bearings. For radial roller bearings, CO is defined as FOIZ LED cos alpha, where LE is the effective length of contact and Z is the number of roller per row, and FO is equal to 21.6 for bearing made of hardened steel. For thrust ball bearing, CO is defined as FOZD square sin alpha, where Z is equal to number of balls carrying thrust in one direction, and FO is taken as 49 for bearing made for hardened steel. For thrust roller bearing, CO is equal to FOZ LED sin alpha, where Z is the number of roller carrying thrust in one direction, and FO is equal to 98.1 for bearing made of hardened steel. Now, static equivalent radial load W or R. Greater of two equation WOR is equal to XOWR plus YOWA, and second is WOR is equal to WR. WR is the radial load, W is the axial or thrust load, XO is the radial load factor, and YO is the axial or thrust load factor. Whereas the radial contact groove ball bearings or self-aligning ball bearings or angular contact groove bearings are used, there are different kind of radial load factor and axial thrust load factors are taken. If you are using the different kind of angular contact, then also the radial load factor and axial load thrust load factor can be changed. Also, if you are using a single row bearing or double row bearing, it also depends. The radial contact load factor and axial load factor can be varied. Now, for the static equivalent thrust load of WOA can be derived as 2.3 WR into tan alpha plus WA, where WR is the radial load and WA is the thrust load. Life of bearing. If you are using the roller bearing, then the life of an individual ball bearing may be defined as the number of revolutions which the bearing runs before the first evidence of fatigue develop in the material one of the rings or any of the rolling element. Right. If you are using a roller bearings, then the total life of the bearing can be derived or can be calculated as when the use of bearing is started, when the first use of the bearing is started, then number of revolution can be done by the balls, right? Number of revolution can be done by the individual ball when the first evidence of fatigue develop, right? Means what? The continuously shocking load or continuously impact load is occurs by the ball on the housing, or you can say on the journal. Then what happened? The due to the continuous load or due to the impact load is occurs, the fatigue is developed in the material, right? So when the first time of fatigue is developed in the material, then till then the how many number of revolution can be done by the individual ball is called as the life of the individual ball, or you can say the life of the bearing. The rating life of a group of apparently indicated in identical ball or roller bearing is defined as the number of revolutions that 90% of group of bearings will be completed or exit before the first evidence of fatigue develop. Right? The term minimum life is also used to denote the rating life. Right? If you use term for the roller bearing, like minimum life is roller bearing is this revolution, then the minimum life is also denote the rating of life. It has been found that the life which 50% of group of bearing will complete or exit is approximately 5 times the life which 90% of bearing will complete or exit. Right? In other words, we may say that the average life of bearing is 5 times the rating life, right? Or you can say it's a minimum life, right? If any kind of roller bearing is denoted by a minimum life, then the total life of the bearing is generally 5 times of that rating life. And it may be noted that the longest life of a single bearing is seldom longer than the 4 times of the average life, and the maximum life single bearing is about 30 to 50 times of the minimum life. Right? So this is the graph which is denoted at the percentage of bearing in operation to life. If 100% of bearing is in operation, then the life of the bearing is low. When the if you are decreasing the use of the percentage of the bearing in operation, then the life is going to increase. Now, this is the different kind of bearing is used at different applications. Then and also the life of bearing is denoted by in hours. If you are using the instrument apparatus that are rarely used, like demonstration apparatus mechanisms for operating sliding doors or aircraft engine, then the life of the bearings is 500 hours to 1000 to 2000 hours, right? If you are using the bearings in machine which is required to work with high degree of reliability 24 hours per day, pulp and paper making machinery, public power plants, mine ponds, or you can say it's a water works, then the life of bearing is about 1 lakh to 2 lakh hours. Here the bearing life is more than the bearing which is used in rarely instrument. Right? Why? Because here the bearing is used in a machine which is required to work with high degree of reliability, right? So here the bearing which is used is self-aligned bearing. So the thrust load or axial load or radial load, axial or thrust or radial load which is occurs or which is produced on the walls is decreased due to the self-align or due to the overcome to misalign, right? So the life of the bearing is going to increase. Now, basic dynamic load rating, or you can say load carrying capacity. What is the basic dynamic load rating? Is the bearing is used to support a moving element, right? So, due to the moving element or due to the machine element, moving machine element, the working load which is produced to the bearing, right, during the working process or during the working operation, the force or the load which is acted on the roller ball bearing is called as the basic dynamic load rating, or you can say the capacity of the bearing to carry the load. If for the radial ball bearing, the capacity of carrying the load is C is
FC I cos alpha raised to 0.7 into Z raised to 2 by 3 into D raised to 1.8. For the ball larger than 24.4 mm, like, or you can say the balls larger than 1 inch in diameter, load carrying capacity C is denoted as 3.647 FC I cos alpha raised to 0.7 into Z 2 by 3 into D raised to 1.4, where FC is denoted as the factor depending upon the geometry of the bearing component, the accuracy of manufacture, and the material used. The for radial roller bearing, the dynamic load capacity, or you can say the load carrying capacity C is denoted FC I L E cos alpha raised to 7 by 9 into Z 3 by 4 into D raised to 29 by 7. Same for the thrust load, there are different kinds. For the thrust load, the angular thrust load, the ball not larger than 25.4 mm in diameter, and also the angle alpha is 90 degree. Then the C is denoted as FC Z raised to 2 by 3 into D raised to 1.8. But ball is not in 90 degree, then the load carrying capacity is denoted as C is equal to Fc cos alpha raised to 0.7, 10 alpha into Z raised to 2 by 3 into D raised to 1.8. For the ball larger than 25.4 mm in diameter and alpha is equal to 90, so we can put the value of alpha is 90, then the value of cos 90 is 1. So the load carrying capacity C is given as 3.647 FC Z raised to 2 by 3 into D raised to 1.4. Same thing if the ball is larger than 25.4 mm and also not at 90 degree, then the C is equal to 3.647 FC cos alpha raised to 0.7, 10 alpha into Z raised to 2 by 3 into D raised to 1.4. For the thrust roller bearing, the C is given as FC L e raised to 7 by 9 into Z raised to 3 by 4 into D raised to 29 by 7, when alpha is equal to 90. And when the alpha is not equal to 90, then Fc into Le into cos alpha raised to 7 by 9, 10 alpha into Z raised to 3 by 4, and D raised to 29 by 27. Now, dynamic equivalent load W is denoted as X VWR plus Y into WA, where V is a rotational factor is equal to 1 for all types of bearing when the inner race is rotating, or is equal to 1 for self-aligned bearing when the inner race is stationary, 1.2 for all type of bearing except self-aligning when the inner race is stationary, right? The value of X and Y for dynamically loaded bearing means the value of axial load factor and radial load factors are different for the deep groove ball bearings, angular contact ball bearings, and self-aligned contact bearing when the dynamically loaded bearing. And these all kind of values you can get from the design data book by PSG or VB Bhandari. Whenever the example is asked or example is solved by you in the exam, then you have to use the design data book compulsory, as this kind of data is not given in your question paper. So you have to use, or you have to study, or you have to learn how to use the design data book and how to solve the example. For that, you have to practice the design data book and you have to practice the solving example, which is based on design data book. Now, load life relationship. Load life relationship of L is denoted as C by W raised to K into 10 raised to 6 revolution, where L is denoted as rating life, capital C is denoted as basic dynamic load rating, W is denoted as equivalent dynamic load, and K is equal to 3 for ball bearings and 10 by 3 for roller bearings. The relation between the life in revolution L and life in working hours LH is given by L is equal to 60 into N into LH revolutions, where capital N is defined as the number of revolutions done by the watch. Service factor Ks. The dynamic radial load is multiplied by the service factor to get the basic dynamic radial load, The service factor for all the ball bearings is shown in the following tables. Right? Service factor is what? When dynamic radial load is applied to the ball bearing, right? When the bearings is completely dynamic or completely loaded by the dynamic load, or you can say is the external load which is produced due to the supported machine element, right? Then the total load is not applied to the bearing, but more than that load is applied to the bearings due to the fatigue load or due to the balls or due to the misalignment between axis of shaft and axis of housing, right? So you have to multiply with service factor like uniform and steady load, light shock load, moderate shock load, heavy shock load, and extreme shock load. These loads are different kind of loads which is not generated by the supported element, but due to the operation or due to the misalignment, these loads are applied on the bearings. So whether different kind of loads are applied, there are different kind of service factor is available for the radial ball bearing. Now selection, or you can say the design of rolling contact bearing. First you have to calculate the basic dynamic load which is applied to the ball bearing. Then you have to calculate the dynamic load capacity of the bearing, and then you have to select the bearing from catalog. Equivalent dynamic load for rolling contact bearing under variable loads. Consider a rolling contact bearing subjected to variable loads W1, W2 and W3 for successive N1, N3 and N3 revolutions. If the bearing is operated at the constant load W1, then its life is given by L1 is equal to C by W1 into 10 raised to 6 revolution. The fraction of life consumed with the W1 acting for N1 number of revolution is N1 by L1 is equal to N1 W1 by C raised to K into 10 raised to 1 upon 10 raised to 6. Similarly, N2 by L2 is equal to N2 into W2 by C raised to K into 1 upon 10 raised to 6. Same, N3 by L3 is equal to N3 into W3 by C raised to K into 1 upon 10 raised to 6. Similarly, the summation of all the revolution, you can find the summation of all the life, or you can say the average of the life is unit, right? So the equivalent load N is equal to C by W raised to K into 10 raised to 6. So N into W raised to K is equal to C raised to K into 10 raised to 6. Same. From the equation number 1 and from the equation number 2, you can equate both equations. You can equate both equations same N1 W1 raised to K plus N2 W2 raised to K plus N3 W3 raised to K up to N is equal to NW raised to K. So you can find the value of W is equal to L1 W1 raised to 3 plus L2 W2 raised to 3 plus L3 W3 raised to 3 divided by L1 plus L2 plus L3 raised to 1 upon 3. Now, reliability. Probability of survival. The reliability is defined as the ratio of number of bearings which have successfully completed million revolution to the total number of bearing under test. According to Weibull, the relation between the bearing life and the reliability is given as log 1 upon R base E equal to L upon A raised to B. Or you can say that L upon A is equal to log 1 upon R base E raised to 1 upon B. If L90 is the life of the bearing corresponding to a reliability of 90%, the equation can be generated as L90 upon A is equal to log 1 upon R90 base E raised to 1 upon B. Now, you have to compare or as compared to general equation, or you can say if you are divide with general equation, then you can find L divided by L90 is equal to log E 1 upon R divided by log E 1 upon R90 raised to 1 upon B. where A is equal to 6.84 and B is equal to 1.17. This is the graph of Weibull distribution, or you can say the load distribution to the load distribution of the bearing, as actual test data is different from Weibull distribution, right? So the reduction in life reliability greater than 90% in the FC curve is probability of failure P is equal to 100 minus R in percentage. Now, that's it for the roller contact bearing. We have studied about different kind of parameters, different kind of terminology for the roller bearing, and different kind of uh, steps for designing roller contact bearing. In roller contact bearing, only main you have studied the terminology. You have to remember all the terminology of the roller contact bearing to solve the example of roller contact bearing, and also you have to practice to solving the example with the help of design data book. Right now, your home assignment is you have to find which kind of material is used to construct or to manufacture the bearing, and which kind of lubrication used in the bearing, and which kind of external parameters, or you can say the moving machine element, is mounting of bearing. Right, that's it. Thank you.